The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com.
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 NoDQ.com. The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the ATW Crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, sports enthusiasts galore, sports entertainers, professional wrestling fans. Battle stations as we head to war, for this is Survivor Series War Games. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. So hello, everybody, and welcome once again to another Simply Predicting panel. You know what this is on my Simple brand, for I am the Simple Man, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, is some of my fellow horsemen of Simply Predicting and the NoDQ Galaxy. Put it up, gentlemen. Shout out to Mark Griffith, as always. And we are here to discuss this upcoming premium live event this weekend, and that is Rigo's not here, but somehow I still have a voice even after this Thanksgiving Chaos Madness. War Games! And we're going to see how that is reinvented at Survivor Series. Before we get into tonight's festivities, first off, I hope everybody on the panel and beyond, and in the chat too, whether you're watching this live on demand, thank you again. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hope you all had a wonderful Happy Thanksgiving and easier time shopping than, of course, the brilliant mind behind the intro, James Hebert. Shout out to him as well. So, before we begin, Jeff, good to see you once again. Are you ready to go to war this weekend in Survivor Series? And how was your family's Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm ready to go to war. I'm just so pumped that the main card finally has War Games. This is a long time coming. First time we've seen Survivor Series, we have a Survivor Series matchup. So this will be interesting to see how they go about this. But I'm as ready as I possibly can be. Thanksgiving was great. Spent it with family, and they're all doing pretty decent. And kind of lost our voice a little bit with screaming at the TV. Damn those Lions. Come on.
Paul echoes the sentiment. But again, it is what it is. Just wait till tomorrow when it's Ohio versus Michigan, and my family are at war in a whole nother way. But I digress. Chris, again, my friend, always a pleasure. Good to see you. Hope you and your family Thanksgiving. How are you? And are you ready to go to war tomorrow night in War Games?
I'm definitely ready to go to war tomorrow at War Games. My Thanksgiving with my family went well. It's good to just be with family and spend time with them. I'm giving this show an 8 out of 10. I'm looking forward to War Games. But before we head to War Games tomorrow, we got high noon time tomorrow, when I'm going to say it, OHIO will beat that team up north tomorrow at high noon time.
Hey, Ohio represent. That's all I got to say, and that's all I'm going to say. For those that don't know, it's probably the one football game of the year that matters to my family, because while 90% of us are Buckeyes, my sister is a Wolverine.
I feel so
different rivalry, different conversation for another day. Me and her used to go to war all the time when we were younger. Nowadays, it's just a mutual fun and who gets the first touchdown. But that's a whole nother segment. But good to know, Chris, and good to know you're supporting the right team. We'll see if we are all on the same team or teams shortly. And again, folks, your opinions matter too. The link to the form is in the description down below. Let your voices be known, of course, as I continue the No DQ Galaxy Predictions League. Christopher Watts, you still are in the lead with 90 points. But many people are right behind you. And again, folks, after this, there's only one event left this year for the WWE League, and that is NXT the Deadline, where time will be up and we'll find out who the winner is for both the Galaxy and the team. All right, so enough bantering. Without further ado, let's get right into it. What a simple card it looks like, too, as we have 3 normal matches and 2 war games, one for the men and one for the women. Let's go ahead and kick things off with this 3-way shenanigan that was made official this Monday night. And by the way, Adam Pearce, don't ever rickroll me again! Damn it! But I digress. The WWE United States Championship is on the line as the Drip Master himself, Seth freaking Rollins, defends the gold against Austin Theory and the former almighty United States Champion, Bobby Lashley. So this is an interesting paradigm shift when it comes to personalities. I mean, Seth freaking Rollins, he was the ultimate heel. Now he literally is the babyface in this match since Austin Theory suffered the ultimate embarrassment, the likes of Baron Corbin, Damian Sandow, and John Cena, catching him out of the bank and failed. He's kind of turned a whole new level of ruthless aggression after destroying Dolph Ziggler, and now he set his sights on what is the title right now, Monday Night Raw, the United States Championship. But Bobby Lashley, he's out right now to prove a point and regain the title he never properly got a chance to go one-on-one after and was screwed by Brock Lesnar ahead of time. Bobby Lashley, he has his motives. Austin Theory has his motives. Seth Rollins, he has the prize. He is the one being hunted. This is weird considering how this is all just thrown together literally within a couple weeks span. And right now, again, Raw is without that key star focus top in the spot with the prize. United States Championship is not the thing of Monday Night Raw, though it's on Seth freaking Rollins. By the way, James, this is just a tangent from him, and you all can take that for what you will. Sorry, James Hebert. We look forward to seeing you on Final Battle and Deadline, though, man. Keep your spirits up. But that being said, I think Seth Rollins is going to retain. I mean, seriously, how many times are you going to flip-flop the United States Championship? As many times the Women's Tag Team Championships? No, thank you. This feels simple to me. I'm saying Seth freaking Rollins retains because in a triple threat doesn't be involved in a decision, but there's always a fall guy. There's always a buffer. And being the architect with a strategy, no doubt in my mind, he will capitalize when the moment is right. I see him rolling up Austin Theory. I got Seth Rollins retaining. Chris, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts is this is gonna be a good match. James Hubert's pick is Seth Rollins for the win.
That's two, by the way. No pressure on you.
Thanking James for commenting, and people keep commenting. Noah would definitely put your comments and questions on the screen, and we'll answer them for you.
Platform is for the people. It is not for me. I'm just the guy trying to encourage you to just enjoy life and enjoy wrestling. Continue, Chris.
Well, it's going to be an entertaining match with these 3 superstars. Let's take back what happened a year ago. These same 3 superstars were on Team Raw last year in the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, and Bobby Lashley were on the same team together. Now, a year later,
They're up against each other.
They're up against each other. I personally believe they're not going to give the United States Championship to Bobby Lashley. I can't see that happening because with Bobby Lashley, he's going to possibly go to have another match with Brock Lesnar down the road, possibly at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. I'm saying WrestleMania, you end the trilogy. You have the trilogy with Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, or WrestleMania. So they're not going to give it to Bobby again. Austin Theory, I don't see. because it wouldn't make sense to put the title on Austin Theory. I'm going with Seth freaking Rollins to retain the United States Championship tomorrow night. I know it's being reported that it's 100% confirmed that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes again. I don't want to see. Yeah, it would be good to see a fourth match, but there's more that they could do with Seth as United States champion. I would love if I have to pick a guy that would make the obvious choice and would make sense on dethroning Seth freaking Rollins as United States champion, I would have to say the guy is Johnny Gargano. I could see Johnny Gargano being the guy to dethrone Seth freaking Rollins as the United States Championship down the road.
Interesting program. I like that. Shout out, by the way, to those that have filled out so far. I see 14 of you have got your predictions in, including but not limited to Richard Morales, Shane, not McMahon, Atomic Cody, Charlene, Alistair Kiefer, Rodney D. Hope, Dwayne Atkinson, and of course, Jeff right here, along with Carla, David, and others. Oh, it looks like some of the team. And Jeff, right now, everybody so far has been unanimously with Seth freaking Rollins. But where do you stand, and do you see any possibilities in Chris's booking down the line?
Honestly, I don't want to see a fourth match between Theory and Rhodes. I think what's going to happen is that Rhodes is going to come back.
You mean Rollins and Cody?
Yeah, yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, like,
look, we're all tired, all right?
I'm still in coma mode, so I mean, no one knows what I'm talking about.
I gotta open this up to stay awake. Wake me up, Evanescence.
I don't see a fourth match happening. I see Cody winning the Rumble. I see him going on to facing Roman Reigns. That's how I see it playing out, which is the reason why he came back, is to go after that title. They're not going to have him go after the U.S. title because that defeats the purpose. So I think, and I still stand by it, it's going to be Reigns and Rhodes come WrestleMania. So I don't see the U.S. title in the picture. Don't see a fourth match. As far as this one goes, hands down, it's going to be Seth freaking Rollins. Austin Theory, I like the new attitude. He's finally away from daddy mode, and
that's a polite way of putting it. You're not wrong.
Yeah. And I do like this new attitude of him since losing the Money in the Bank briefcase. As far as Bobby Lashley goes, I kind of want to see him go back into the heavyweight title picture. But as I said earlier, I think this is where Cody comes into play. So with that being said, Rollins comes out on top and he leaves with the U.S. title.
All right, then. Well, I felt that was pretty daggone obvious. If nothing else, we'll see how far Austin Theory's new attitude can hold up against the almighty Bobby Lashley, who right now is on a rampage of uncontrollable tirade towards anybody. I honestly wonder, does he care more about the title or does he care about getting back to Brock Lesnar? And right now he's just using everybody else like anger management, like Charlie Sheen. So that's just my takeaways with that.
Winning.
But good stuff, guys. Yeah, I remember that show. It's Comedy Central, FX. All right, let's go ahead and move on from there. And you want to talk about the obvious? Look, here's the thing. Hello, Jeff Meacham. WWE needs to do two things: make titles feel important and build new stars that can actually be a focal point. Last time she got a chance, it was less than a minute. Maybe this time we'll actually see what she's capable of when the stakes are at the highest. So let's go ahead and give her a chance. As Rowdy Ronda Rousey defends the SmackDown Women's Championship against Shotzi. And yes, folks, she used to have a last name. Don't know why they don't have it now. Go ahead, blame WWE for that. Sashi Blackheart. And of course, Sashi earned this during a six-pack challenge to crown a new #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But since Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler have come together as the most dangerous duo in WWE, where everybody right now is feeling their own form of retribution, it feels like Ronda Rousey is untouchable. It's almost like right now Shayna Baszler is basically secondhand. You have to beat her to get to Ronda, or even make people think you have a chance. While we all thought Shayna Baszler at some point should have already been a champion on the main roster, she's failed now on both brands. So maybe this is the perfect spot for her in the meantime. And does this eventually lead to a battle of the true horsewomen of MMA combat sports period, one-on-one when WrestleMania goes Hollywood, or is there going to be something else big time? As far as right now, though, Shotzi Blackheart, like Raquel Gonzalez, will have a chance to show what she's capable of when it comes to the title. How far can you hang against Ronda Rousey, and how far will Ronda Rousey let you hang with her? With this idea, kayfabe or fickle wise, that I don't give a damn what the fans think or want, this is about me. I do see this at least going longer than a minute, but I don't see Ronda Rousey losing the strap to Shotzi. Shotzi, fight your damn heart out and make the people believe and invest in you like Lita made you a long time ago. This is your chance. Don't squander it. But Ronda still leaves as the champion. Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, you can't say, that she wouldn't have. I mean, you didn't say it, but I mean, people can't say that Shotzi doesn't have a chance, because there have been a lot of people who thought Liv never had a chance. And look what she did. She took the gold off of Rousey. So Shotzi does have a chance in this. Will I see her win? No, I don't see her win. And I love Shotzi to death, and I like the fact that Raquel Rodriguez is in her corner, which you will see her down there. I guarantee it. Just like you'll see Shayna in Rousey's corner.
There you go.
So this will start a fight, hopefully, between Baszler and Rodriguez, and we'll see where that goes, which could end up with a tag team tag team match between the four of them, which the last one was actually pretty good. So does this mean tag title match possibly for Rousey and Shayna? So a part of me wants to go Shotzi because of the tag title thing, but I can definitely see the point of having Baszler versus Rousey as well. But I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen, because they're on the same page. They've been working extremely well as a team, like I figured they would. And I think personally they'd be more suitable for the women's tag team championships. So I will have Rousey going out of War Games as champion. But Shotzi's not going to go down without a fight. You know this just as much as I do. Shotzi's going to give everything that she has. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough.
TCP's going night-night. That being said, Chris, it is also unanimous among the entire poll so far. Now, 15 people, they all went with Ronda, leaving with the gold. So what is your expectations for Shotzi in this match?
I'm gonna keep my thoughts on this match. Is Shotzi, she's gonna give it her all. She's gonna have that fighting power. She's gonna keep fighting until she can't fight anymore. I support Shotzi no matter what. I would love for them to put the title on her, but she's going to get championship opportunity down the road under Triple H's vision of WWE. I could see it happening with Shotzi. With this being the SmackDown Women's title, it don't make sense to put the title on Shotzi. I don't know what direction they are going to go into, but it will make sense for Ronda Rousey to retain here. And as I get closer to like WrestleMania season, there's a lot that they could do. And I've possibly been booking WrestleMania all from my predictions video that we've been doing.
James Heber might have a run for his money. Go ahead.
I could actually see one or two things here. If I know Ronda's going to retain tomorrow, they could also do for WrestleMania. I know the rumor match is Ronda Rousey versus big time Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's title. That possibly could happen, or they could swerve us and have Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. They could go either one or two directions with that. Or I could either see Becky or Shayna fighting Ronda for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. That is my thoughts and my predictions on that.
Well, considering you got the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber both before WrestleMania, where it sounds like both will actually be used to build something, maybe not as predictable for this year's WrestleMania coming up, that'll be fully booked creative-wise by Triple H. Expectations should definitely be much more, I feel, open and with variety. So I do like the way you're thinking. But again, we still have to get through the rest of 2022, and there is no other Premium Live event after Survivor Series either for the main roster too. So we'll see what happens. All right. Well, now that we got the most two obvious matches out of the way, I think that was safe to say. Let's go to a match that I feel might be a little bit polarizing because people thought that honestly these two factions should be at War Games, but they're not. Instead, you're going to get something absolutely too sweet and phenomenal to a degree, as AJ Styles renews hostilities in the ring with the Judgment Day's own Finn Balor. It's the OC versus the Judgment Day. Prototypical leaders going one-on-one. Don't be surprised if chaos breaks out at ringside with all parties involved. Now, this is going to be fun. We've seen how many times now these two face each other in some way in the WWE, let alone one-on-one. One time you got an idea of how far these two could go, thankfully, instead of the original booking. And in the end, we saw who won that. There was still mutual respect in the end. I feel like there will be that here as well, but this one could go either way. However, I'm not going to say anything and start off first this time. Chris, we're starting with you. And right now, Josh, yes, I am here. I am indeed that. Thank you, good sir. Chris, what is your thoughts towards this one-on-one match, and who do you got winning?
Well, my prediction for this, and Josh says last time these two went one-on-one, it was magic. Triple H should just send them out there and let them do their thing. I personally agree with Josh Mansfield.
That makes two of us.
Also, he's also another Ohio buddy. So, hello, Josh Mansfield.
And please follow the Cleveland Combatant, folks, in this latest columns already out and to come. Keep up the good work, my friend. One of these days, you got to get on one of these panels, dude. Get your clock together and let me know what you're up to. Anyway, Chris, continue.
Well, let me add what Jeff says about the tag team with Shotzi and Raquel. That actually is going to be happening tonight on Friday Night SmackDown, where Shotzi and Raquel are going to take on Ronda and Shayna Baszler tonight on Friday Night SmackDown.
I sense the challenger getting some momentum ahead of her big title match tomorrow. Just saying. This is the WWE. But anyway, back to this match, though.
Back to AJ Styles, Finn Balor. The last time these two took on each other one-on-one was at TLC 2017, and it was a Raw exclusive premium live event. It was supposed to be the Demon Finn Balor versus whatever that character Bray Wyatt was in that year.
The less talked about that, the better off we are. Stupid idea from bad creative personified. Continue.
But
you lazy.
But it was lazy booking. What Bradley Campbell would say, lazy booking.
That's right.
Shout out to the Dr. Farm D. Good person always.
But my prediction is that these two are going to put on magic tomorrow. And I am definitely looking forward on this. AJ Styles, he found himself again when he brought back the OC. The last time the AJ brought the OC to WWE, AJ Styles was the phenomenal one. He had matches with like Chris Jericho. He had matches with John Cena. He won his first WWE championship in 2016. And we got to thank Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to bringing AJ Styles back to the phenomenal one again. And personally, I would, you know where I'm going for. Tomorrow night, I'm going for the phenomenal AJ Styles to defeat Finn Balor, because the thing is, the last time AJ Styles won a singles match on a premium live event was in 2019 at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, aka Country Reducted. And and his opponent was Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. Or no, I think that might have been 2018.
I was saying, botch.
Yeah, 2019 at Crown Jewel. I have to go back to that year.
Chris, you're digging a hole. Just focus on the match, man. It's okay if you can't recall history. Who you got winning? You're digging yourself a hole. Josh will correct you, I'm sure, in his article if he chooses to write that. Anyway.
But 3 years ago, AJ Styles has not won a singles match. And personally, that's going to change tomorrow. AJ Styles gets the win tomorrow. And I can't wait to see what AJ Styles does from the rest of 2022 and entering 2023.
All right, very good. Well, Jeff, this is definitely a match that is polarizing and has the fans fickle because it's pretty split. The majority right now are actually going with the Judgment Day's Finn Balor. And, of course, we know Finn Balor tried recruiting AJ Styles to the Judgment Day, but AJ Styles decided to bring along some of his own friends against him. And now they have a factor against the Rhea Ripley effect. We'll really see, finally, if AJ and the OC can claim victory as a unit, courtesy of their leader. I do want to see these two go all at it one-on-one, but the thing is, I feel like, again, they're going to probably go with the storyline here, and I'm like, you got to carry this thing out even further. How much more are you going to do the Judgment Day versus the OC? What's the end game here?
Right.
So, Jeff, what's your thoughts towards this match? And it's 56% AJ, 44% AJ Styles.
Yep. I think personally that, having, this has all come full circle, really, because as everybody knows, they were the original OTs, if you will, of the Bullet Club. So they know each other inside and out, which is why their matches are absolutely amazing when they have them. And tomorrow night is not going to be any different. Tomorrow night, you're going to see the best of AJ Styles. You're going to see the best of Finn Balor. However, you will not see Mia Yim and you will not see Rhea Ripley down at ringside because they're going to be in the back getting ready for their War Games match.
Correct.
So it's going to be 3-on-3 down there at the ringside. You're going to have the OC and you're going to have the rest of Judgment Day. I see an all-out brawl between everybody involved. It's going to happen. Sparks are going to fly. Tempers are going to boil. You're going to see the OC fighting outside with Judgment Day, doing their own little thing. And somehow, some way, somebody is going to get what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to get distracted. And that's when the other person will come up with the victory. But I think personally, this could go 50-50, as you said. Absolutely. I mean, you could go AJ, you could go Finn.
You could go DQ.
You could go DQ, yeah, absolutely, if you really wanted to, and still continue on with the storyline without hurting it. So, this is what I think is going to happen. I think that knowing that it's been 3 years since AJ's had a singles match at a pay-per-view victory, it kind of leans towards him to actually win this. Now, is this going to solve everything? No, it's not going to solve. This is going to continue, as I said before. But they need to continue, and I think it will probably culminate at WrestleMania. That will be when this whole thing just ends. But this is just only the beginning. Only the beginning of Bullet Club, of them like bumping heads. And I cannot wait. I've got AJ Styles on this one to take the victory. He needs to have it. If he doesn't, then what does that mean? I mean, it's just under this new regime of Triple H, you would think, let's change this up a little bit. Let's have AJ win a match. I mean, we went through this with Seth Rollins earlier this year. He went through a whole plethora of matches on pay-per-view and did not get a win. Now we're talking AJ Styles, who's on a worse losing streak, mind you, kind of like Kurt Hawkins. But we won't go there.
Ouch.
Well, if you stop and think about it,
you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. So he definitely needs this victory. And by doing that, the OC are definitely going to be in the driver's seat when it comes to this feud with the Judgment Day and Bullet Club, if you will. So AJ, I've got him winning it. He's got to do it.
It's one of those things where, again, I don't know the direction of this because the fact that we don't have anything between here and now to the Royal Rumble. You wonder, could this match really lead to one of these two going in with a confidence boost to qualify and claim their spot in the Royal Rumble? Now, clearly, I see both these two involved in there. They're two of the most legitimate singles competitors you can have in the damn thing. Let's not just randomly throw every tag team in there one at a time for Pete Daggum's sake. That being said, I agree with both of you. It's been far too long right now. AJ Styles, he's just kind of been lolling in the roster, going along with the motions. He's right now in a compelling storyline with what probably is the most influential faction on Monday Night Raw in the longest time. They are a focal point. I'm not just talking about Dominic and Rhea Ripley and their thing. It just feels like right now AJ Styles is due for some sort of win. And honestly, if they were going to do some sort of series with these two, I'd be perfectly fine with it because we know what these two are capable of. And that probably because perhaps what Cesaro and Sheamus did back a long time ago without them becoming a tag team. The Judgment Day in the OC is not over by any means. And it won't be over after this singles match. But I agree with both of you, actually. I think the phenomenal AJ Styles will get the better of Finn Balor because right now, the Judgment Day, they have not been able to be figured out by anybody. So hopefully it focuses on just the two men in the ring. But I have AJ coming out with the victory. All right. Well, that was pretty simply put. Again, folks, thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Let your opinions be known. Predictions form is in the description down below. Shout out to Sean, Josh. Again, it's Dave Hubert that's not here. Mark Rivers is not here. And anybody that's watching this, I thank all of you. Let your opinions be known in the comments too. Sean Garner. Oh, all right, Sean. Well, since you're talking about that, I guess it makes sense to talk about that next. Because again, folks, while we have these simple 3 matches, that is not what the banner is about because we are finally on the main roster. What started being reunited in the black and gold NXT, my NXT. We'll see how the main roster can make it maybe even more efficiently. It is time to discuss War Games. So let's go ahead and first talk about the women's War Games match. 5-on-5 action, and we will see, of course, who has the advantage and who is the remaining member. Tonight on SmackDown. As it stands, it is Team Bianca Belair with the EST herself and Asuka, Alexa Bliss, thank goodness my device in the other room, and Mia Yim, and taking on Team Damage Control led by Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the crazy and hinged return of Nikki Cross, R.I.P., Nikki A.S.H., good riddance, and of course, the bearer of brutality herself, Rhea Ripley. Well, this story is about as old as the freaking fall season itself, as Sean Garner has already made his prediction be known for the final member. And again, after what we've heard recently, he's probably right. But Justin, shout out to Justin, he has his own thoughts too. He says, Sasha Banks better show up in Boston, or Boston will riot. I mean, come on, it's her hometown and home arena, TD Garden. I think Sasha showing up sounds like a better idea. So we're hearing about Becky. We're hearing about Sasha. People have already tossed the wayside anybody internally on the roster. It won't be Candice LeRae. It won't be insert name here. It won't be Aaliyah. It won't be blank blank. It's one of those things where I feel like regardless of who it is, how much longer do I have to see the never-ending story of Bianca Belair and Bayley? You got to imagine if Team Bayley wins, they're going to continue that saga. Then again, I feel about the program that wasn't visited at SummerSlam due to injury, and maybe it's finally her time again after what she's been doing brilliantly as a character. Maybe it is Rhea Ripley's time, and Rhea Ripley is a former winner of War Games. She led a team, beating Shayna Baszler while handcuffed. But I also think about right now, you have all these other people here too. Are they kind of just, added players? Are they lost in the shuffle? Josh Mansfield, by the way, with a hot take here. You want a prediction? Okay, here's one. One team will win War Games, and one team will lose War Games. There you go. It doesn't get more simpler than that, Josh. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Now book me a hotel. This is not monetized, by the way, folks. That being said, let's see what people got to say here first. If the final member is anyone not named Sasha or Becky, it will flop. If it's Candice LeRae, botch, or Tegan Nox, the crowd will turn. If it's Charlotte, the fans will riot. All right. And Sean, again, still convinced that it's going to be Becky. So, guys, does she return once again to the big time? Or do we see a queen try to regain a throne? Is it finally boss time? Which way does this entire match go despite the member? And what is next, particularly for the Raw Women's Championship, the EST, all the way to Royal Rumble, particularly? A lot to think about here. It could go either way, but based on the amount of faces we have winning, I don't know. Chris, you start off. Who do you have winning the first main roster premium live event, War Games, in this 10 women's match? Team Belair or Team Bayley?
Well, you forgot to mention after a prediction, Aaron Riff has bonus points. So you forgot to mention about the bonus points. So
I figured you already knew, but you're right. So let me go ahead and enlighten the people that have already filled out the form are unaware. Guess what, folks? Aaron Riff is local. He decided to add 2 bonus points for each of these War Game matches. You have to guess who starts off for each side. And in a battle of War Games, battle plans, strategies, they have to be think about. Do you send in your juggernaut? Do you send in somebody with the experience? Do you send in somebody that can go the distance? Remember, the first 2 people will be involved for a straight 5 minutes. And then in intervals across 3 minutes, everyone else comes in. We already know that in each War Games, a team will have a 1-person advantage. And the War Games doesn't officially begin until everybody's in the cage. And the only way to win is via pinfall or submission inside the structure. There is no escape. If you escape, you surrender for your team. So now that I educated them, Chris, as you politely reminded me for, the floor is now yours. Who you got winning?
Well, I'm just going to say these 2 War Games matches for both men and the women, they're going to deliver. I have no doubt in my mind. This is the first War Games match on the main roster in 2022. I am so pumped for this. And this is going to be starting off the show tomorrow. So the women's are starting the show tomorrow, and the men's is going to be the main event tomorrow of Survivor Series.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. I figured that's how it was going to be. That's how it was back in my NXT. Anyway, continue.
With the 5th and final member, we all been hearing Becky Lynch. I personally believe it's going to be Becky. And Sean Gardner, he said it's going to be Becky. It just reminded me, yes, Sean, it's going to be Becky. This just reminds me what we did at WrestleMania when it says it's going to be Cody. I remember that.
Go check that out, folks, on my playlist of Simply Predicting, where I broke Jeff and Chris for a good 5 minutes. Anyway, continue, Chris.
But now I just broke Jeff now.
Don't worry, I don't have a graphic, Jeff, but let's be honest here. It's going to be Becky. Anyway, Chris, continue. And to help you out, by the way, majority do believe that Belair is going to win. 58%, 41% with Team Bayley.
But my prediction is the 5th member is going to be Becky. I had 3 picks for who I believe the 5th and final member was going to be.
Besides the names we mentioned,
first Becky. Second of all, yeah, I did have Sasha Banks. It would be a good fill moment since it's in her hometown. And if it was going to be Sasha, they should have never said anything on Monday about, the 5th member is going to be revealed on Friday on SmackDown. They should have never done that. If it was Sasha, they would have saved it they would save it tomorrow night for her big return. I also believe that my 3rd pick was Tegan Nox.
Triple H has expressed interest in getting her back.
Because here's the thing. The last time Tegan Nox was in War Games, Dakota Kai turned on her. And that could been okay. Tegan is back. Tegan could get redemption on Dakota, what she did to her back in 2019 at War Games for NXT. And it could be now we're even. But I do possibly believe it is going to be Becky Lynch. She's going to come back. I am going for Team Bianca Belair tomorrow night. And what I could see happening is, we got the Royal Rumble. This could also set something up with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley facing off each other at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship, because we never got that match at Money in the Bank this year. I personally believe we're going to get that match in San Antonio, Texas on Saturday, January 28th at the Royal Rumble for the Raw Women's Championship. Who I believe is going to start this match. For Team Bianca, I have the 5th member, Becky Lynch. And who's going to start off for the heels? I got Bayley starting this off because here's the thing. Damage Control took Becky Lynch out and they wrote Becky Lynch off of television. It was Bayley that hurt Becky Lynch. I personally believe it will make sense to have Becky Lynch and Bayley start off the Women's War Games match tomorrow night.
I don't usually think about the captain usually setting themselves on the front line of battle in the beginning. I figured that they're just going to strategize and remain in the cage, but again, it is possible. And Jeff, I mean, again, out of the realm of possibility, it really isn't. Let's go ahead and look at the experience factors here when it comes to War Games, shall we? As of course, many of these people were involved in NXT version of War Games. Bianca Belair is no stranger to it. Of course, Io Sky, she has been involved in, I believe, 3 of them. And one time she dropped like a bomb on Nagasaki with a trash can over her. Still can't believe she did that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Dakota Kai, she, of course, was involved in a War Games match. Rhea Ripley has won War Games previously. Nikki Cross, she was excited, but has never been involved in War Games. So this will be a first for the likes of Nikki Cross, Bayley, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and I believe Mia Yim. So, again, do you start with those that have the experience to, withstand the pain inside the cage, or do you save them for last? And even with the idea of Tegan Nox, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, of course, Tegan Nox being the one who didn't get a chance to even go inside the cage, but can renew a previous rivalry. Jeff, what's your take? And do you think that Team Bianca also needs to get the win here to finally move away from the Bayley agenda? Or does Rhea need it?
Personally, I think that Rhea needs it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I have a couple thoughts. I like the whole Becky option. I like the whole Sasha option. I like Tegan Nox. And actually, I was watching that match while I was at work in the kitchen today, the War Games match from 2019, and almost dropped my chicken when I heard the door slamming on Tegan Nox's knee. But anyway,
that was brutal. Yeesh, NXT TakeOver Chicago, folks.
But you got to stop and think. In that match, it was 4-on-2. 2 people came out on top, beating 4. And don't count out Candice LeRae as the 5th member. She has the experience. And that's what you're going to need in a match like this. You don't, in my opinion, you want the experience. Because if you bring up the graphic real quick. If you look on Team Bayley, you have 1, 2, 3 people that have been in War Games.
Yep.
You look on Team Belair, there's only 1, I believe.
The captain herself.
Yes. So right there is your disadvantage, 3-on-1. You want someone who's got experience. I personally think it will be Candice LeRae. And even though she's not on SmackDown, I think it's a dumb idea to announce it on SmackDown. I think that something like this would have been perfect for saving it at the event. Kind of like what they did in 2019 with Kevin Owens. Yes. We didn't know who the extra man was. And the pop was amazing for Kevin. So I think that that's what they should have done. However, what they're doing with announcing her tonight, I can't wait to see who it is, but I'm hoping it's Candice. But I'm okay with any of the ones that have been mentioned. Becky Lynch, definitely experience overall, and she has been in rough matches like these before. Not War Games, but just in general. But she's
Yes.
coming back from an injury. Do you really want to risk that in a match like this? You look at Sasha Banks. Once again, years in this business, she's been in rough matches before. She's been in last women standing matches. She's been in cage matches. She's been in the Elimination Chamber. But how much ring rust will she have? That's something to think about. Is it worth that in this type of match? Then you got Tegan Knox. The last time she was in this kind of a match, as I mentioned before, Dakota Kai ruined her knee. Completely ruined it. Is it worth risking that injury for this?
Like I was in it.
Right. So, therefore, that leaves me with experience, and that being Candice LeRae. You can't go wrong with Candice. You know, this is her match. We've seen her in it, you know, and she's done very well. So
herself in half, nearly 2.
Exactly. But she's willing to do it when it comes to a match like this. I mean, she was part of the very first women's one. Why not? Why not be part of the first women's one on the main roster? That in itself is another achievement. So that's why I'm kind of going Candice on this. And I like what John's saying. Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, we didn't even think about that because, again, the history with particularly Rhea Ripley, who couldn't share
that
her.
would be a good one, too. And I happened to think of that, too, before you pop that up there. Beth Phoenix would be a great one. That would get a huge pump. Yes. So, I mean, you know, there's plenty of people that you could put in this match, but only a couple of them really make sense. As far as who starts, you're not going to have Bayley start. You know, and if it is Becky, you're not going to have Becky start, because you know damn well if Becky starts, if she's the 5th woman and Becky starts, Bayley's going to hover and be like, no, you guys take care of her. She doesn't want to be one-on-one. She's got other people with her, and she's not going to want to do it. She might go in second, but she would not go in first if it's Becky. I guess it really all depends on who is the 5th woman in this match in order to figure out who's really going to want to start. I have my heart set on Io Shirai. I think she can definitely go the distance from start to finish in this. I'm also looking on the other side, and I'm thinking that honestly, I would go Alexa. Alexa and Io to start it out. I would go Alexa. Alexa could definitely go the distance. Mia, she's just starting to come back. Yeah, she's been in Impact and she's been wrestling right along, but I don't think she'd be first. I think if you're going to have Mia in there, you're going to want to have her in there when Ripley goes in, around the time that Ripley goes in, because you know between the two of them, OC Judgment Day, here we go. Now you could start off Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley. You could. I think that those two are the last 2 people in the cage. I think it's Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley is the last 2 in. So that's my prediction as far as the ending goes. But as far as the beginning, I'm going Io and I'm going Alexa. But I've got Team Belair taking this.
All right. Well, great breakdown by both of you. The way I see it also is this, and another fact we did, I mean, Sean Goddard did bring a point. Yes, Mia Yim was supposed to be involved in War Games, but got taken out ahead of time. Who's to say that somebody from Team Bayley would not try to assault and put the numbers in their favor either way from Team Belair? Who's to say we won't get more than one substitute? You still could get Candice LeRae. Who's to say Candice LeRae won't turn Colt and alongside Bayley help her team to the win, further adding the damage control ranks, giving her that healed identity that some people believe she needs on Monday Night Raw. Again, Bayley tried recruiting Candice LeRae in the early going. Candice LeRae has been a non-factor since on Monday Night Raw. She's been MIA. It's also one of those things where I do think about this match, regardless of both teams, has to find what's next for the most important thing in here, the Raw Women's Championship. So Bianca Belair, does she prove that she is the one that is the toughest, the strongest, the blankest by kicking it off maybe for her team, leading by example? And do you then just have her and Rhea Ripley go the entire course? Does Rhea Ripley repeat history? Does this somehow lead to what I feel should happen, and that is Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair? That's my take on this. As far as the mystery person, if they're really trying to make this feel as big of a deal as possible from Boston, Massachusetts, it's got to be either Becky or Sasha. They're the two biggest names that make sense based on history with Bayley and based on name value. Because at the end of the day, even at Triple H, you got to sell. You sell based on market power. You sell based on name. And while I think it would be cool to do the whole nod to the hometown crowd, I still feel like they're going to do Becky. I just feel like that's more of a realistic thing. So I do think that TBA is going to be Becky Lynch. And Becky will be the fifth person. Because again, Bayley took out Becky. So maybe that'll be the program sub instead of Bayley and Bianca, number 4. But as far as this match goes, I want the program with Bayley to be over. But if Bayley's not involved in the decision, yeah, her team wins. But the person that picks up the win, they move forward. If I want to see Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair finally move some point, then Rhea Ripley has to prove that she can go the distance and be physically dominant. She doesn't have to win. She just has to show her dominance, her brutality. She's basically the juggernaut of the freaking Team Bayley at this point. So whether or not she is safe last or going first, that's going to be the main key player. And then Io Sky is going to do something crazy off the top. But I agree with both of you. I do have Team Belair winning because right now, Belair needs a clean slate and needs to move away from the Bayley damage control world that her and Asuka and Alexa Bliss have been literally put into like a vortex. So I do have Belair winning. But as far as who starts it, again, I look at the rivalries going on. I look at maybe you surprise us, unique wild card. Well, that's Nikki Cross. What if Nikki Cross goes in there and just goes rampant? She's never been involved in War Games, and maybe you do start with the two shortest people. You also look at the past history as a tag team, but Nikki also caused Alexa Bliss the tag titles at Crown Jewel. So Nikki, Alexa, there's that. I don't think they're going to start off, honestly, with Bianca and Rhea. I do see that being somewhere in the middle because Rhea's going to be a difference maker. And then you got, of course, the likes of Bayley and TBA, which I feel like is going to be really the drawing point that lures Bayley into the cage. But how many War Game matches have I seen where the captain or the heel side has taken advantage of the faces and brought weapons into the cage before they're all in there? Okay, we know that chairs, candlesticks, and tables are going to be brought inside War Games because this is the WWE. I don't care if there's no roof. You got to have all the tools and the toys in play before the match officially begins. I look at this graphic and I think, honestly, the ones that are going to start off, I'm actually going to go on a bit of a limb here based on what I don't know. And I'm going to go with Asuka and Nikki Cross and renew their crazy hostilities in history back under the Black and Gold NXT when they had that last women's standing match. Some of them people probably aren't thinking about necessarily. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, why is this person in the match? Are they that important? They've never been involved in this before. Should I care about them?
Right.
Starting off with Asuka and Nikki Cross, we'll give name value to them because they have to go the full distance, and we see how they challenge each other for the first 5 minutes. So I'm going along besides them, but I do believe that Team Belair will come out in victory one way or another. As far as what everybody else says, yeah, there is no unanimous choices here. They're all over the board. Asuka, Io Sky, Alexa and Nikki, Belair and Bayley, Asuka and Io, Alexa, Dakota, and, well, someone forgot to put in a second name. Fix that person. Watch. Cross and Bliss, Asuka, Io Sky, Mia and Io. So, again, there is no, like, real majority vote here. It's a who's who. But, yeah, I'm going to go a little bit far out there and just see what happens. I'm going to go with Asuka and Nikki Cross, and let's see how they maybe bring back NXT chance. Boston remembers NXT Black and Gold, so who knows? All right, let's see. Justin says, how about Alexa turns on Bianca? Well, something we didn't talk about was Alexa has been seeing those Titantron screens for that symbol, and she does have past history with a certain Bray Wyatt. Maybe she goes back to those type of dynamics. Maybe she just goes into a trance and does nothing. Stands there, and you're wondering what the hell is going to happen here. Maybe she walks out her own accord before the match officially starts, and we got a handicap situation. That's a stretch, but again, I wouldn't count it out. All right. Well, we definitely talked a lot about that one that apparently is going to open the show. Let's go ahead and get right to the main events as we look to see if we will acknowledge them in victory or will we see a banger handing them a defeat. Time to see who's the strongest. It is the Brutes led by Sheamus with Ridge Holland, Pete Dunne, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens, taking on the Bloodline in its entirety. I'm, of course, talking about Sami Zayn, still not officially Sami Uso, Solo Sikoa, the Usos, who are now officially the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions in modern history. Congratulations. And, of course, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion himself, Roman Reigns. Well, this seems pretty much as plain as day as far as how this goes, but Sean Garner with a hot take real quick. He believes Sami Zayn will lose for the Bloodline, so I'm going to put that up there just for a moment here, and I'm just going to say this. If Roman Reigns is going to have anything to do between now and the Royal Rumble, his team has to lose. The question is, which one on the eye of the will suffer the wrath of the Tribal Chief in defeat? Because I think you're stuck in gear stupid if you think Roman Reigns is going to eat the decision. Hail to the no. But I believe that the Bloodline will finally suffer a defeat as a unit. I actually got the Brutes winning this here, and that's all I'm going to say for now, as he's wearing the shirt. So guess what? He's going to be last. Jeff, you're up first. How does this War Games end? And more importantly, what do you see beginning for each side?
Well, you mentioned Sami Zayn down there on the screen here. I believe he's going to start for the Bloodline. I think he's, and it's not so much Roman Reigns choosing it. I think Sami is willing to do this. So he's just going to forefront, go right in. I think he's going to start for the Bloodline. As far as the other side, I see Butch. I think this would be a great match. Butch, Sami Zayn to start off the first 5 minutes. So I've got that. Again, we see Kevin Owens in the picture, and perfect fifth man, as he's got the experience since like going back to 2019, that special
also winning
yeah,
the War Games.
Absolutely. So he's got that experience. I don't see Bloodline losing this, to be honest with you. I think that if anything, Sami is going to get the victory for the Bloodline, not take the loss. I think that the person, I think the person that is going to end up losing for Team Brawling Brutes.
Just call it Team Brawling Brutes.
Yeah, I think it's it's one of two people. I don't see Sheamus taking a loss against Sami.
I don't see that either.
I don't see Drew McIntyre taking this loss. You got the two stronger people on the team. I don't see them taking the loss. I don't see Kevin Owens taking the loss. I see Ridge Holland taking the loss for Team Brutes. Now, what does this mean? Hey, this is just more fight between the Brutes and the Bloodline. This is just starting. In my opinion,
you just want them to fight forever.
I do. I really do, because whenever they get together, magic does seem to happen. And I think what's going to happen is Sami Zayn is going to end up pitting Ridge Holland, and therefore giving the Bloodline the victory, which makes sense if you have the face team winning for the women, have the heel team winning for the men. Which is, you don't want two faces or two heels. It doesn't make sense. So if you look at it in that aspect, Bloodline being the heel team in this, I see them picking up the victory.
It's funny you mentioned that, because you talk about that War Games. You do realize that both the men and women face teams won that night. So it is not out of the realm of possibility. And I add that face women's win led Rhea Ripley to beating Shayna Baszler for the NXT Championship.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just say, honestly, it rarely happens where you see two face teams win, two heel teams win. I think this is where you're going to have one of each. And if you're going to have the face of the women win, you got to have the heels. And Bloodline, they're hot. They're red hot. How do you cool down the Bloodline? That's the question. That's the question everybody's trying to answer. They are on such a streak right now that I don't see them losing this. In fact, this might be the only chance Sami Zayn has to get Jay. Is it Jay or Jimmy? The one who's having Jay. Okay, to get Jay on his side. This could be where he finally proves to him that he's worthy of being in the bloodline.
I do have a different take when it comes to my thoughts on this, but it does involve Sami Zayn and Jay, and I do like where you're thinking. Chris, you're wearing the shirt. You are probably the biggest fan of the Tribal Chief and acknowledge him more than anybody else I know in the Notiku Galaxy not named Virtue. 47% believe in the bloodline. They are in the minority, if you want to call it that. 52% pick the Brutes and Sheamus. As far as starters, Butch and Sami Zayn, Kevin and Sammy, Butch and Solo Sikoa. Okay, I like that idea, actually. Butch and Jey Uso, Butch and Jimmy, Butch and Jey Uso, Butch and... What the hell? This person don't know who that is. Butch and Jey Uso, Kevin Owens. So it looks like they are going with experience. They're also going with powerhouse. They are going with those that truly felt like they could go fight for the distance. Mostly Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, which of course we've been talking about, and Solo Sikoa I've been talking about the most here. So, Chris, what's your thoughts towards this? Who do you have as your starters, and who comes out in the end and wins?
Well, you know who I'm going for, and it makes sense.
As if I really needed to ask the question.
You have the babyface Team Bianca win, and the heels pick up the win in War Games. So I feel it's going to be split. The Team Bianca as the face win, and Sean, you said Sami Zayn will lose the match for the bloodline.
Hot take.
That is a good hot take, but that's not gonna happen.
I love polarizing opinions. Anyway, continue, Chris.
But and the heels are the bloodline. The bloodline is going to win. They're on a roll right now, and I believe this is going to set up Roman Reigns versus Sheamus for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. Because that is a match that's being rumored. Who I see starting this. I've been going back and forth, like, for the bloodline, Sami Zayn, and for the babyface, Kevin Owens. But I don't see those two starting it off for the men.
I feel like that's too obvious, if I'm perfectly honest.
It's obvious because I feel that's going to be like, here's how it's going to be. When War Games begins, I believe we're going to have the bloodline on one side of the ring and Team Brawling Brutes on the other side. They're going to meet in the middle. They're going to jump over east side of the ring. They're going to fight it all out.
They're going to brawl out in the middle of the partition, just like
and
the
it's going to be a bang. It's going to be a banger. 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 I do see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn having a moment tomorrow with one another. So that's going to happen. But who I personally believe, this could all change tomorrow. But no one is talking about these two superstars. Before I went on air, I said for the babyface Kevin Owens, for the bloodline Jey Uso, they had history, Kevin Owens and Jey Uso. When Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, and Roman Reigns had their storyline going into when it was TLC and then the Royal Rumble in 2021. I personally believe I'm going into a different direction here. Who's starting off the men for the bloodline? I see Solo Sikoa starting off for the men for the bloodline. Who's starting off for Team Brawling Brutes? Drew McIntyre. Here's why. Solo Sikoa cost Drew McIntyre the match at Clash at the Castle.
Fair point.
So it would make perfect sense to have Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa start the match for War Games. I could be they could go to the distance for the first 5 minutes. It would be perfect sense. And overall, the Bloodline are going to win this, and we're all going to still acknowledge the Bloodline. We're going to still acknowledge Roman. We're going to still acknowledge the whole Bloodline, because the Bloodline won't be stopped at all.
Here's a question. Who do you see gaining the advantage in this match?
I'll say, because tonight's SmackDown will decide that, and that very well could play a factor in who wins this.
Exactly. Because you got Usos facing Sheamus and Drew McIntyre tonight.
Well, and we forgot to talk about the advantage for the women. Team Bailey, they got
the advantage. Yep, the heel side got the advantage, and we're going with the faces.
I personally believe.
You talk about not both.
You know what?
Both faces not winning,
you
not
know
both
what?
heels winning. What if both heels have the advantage?
Right.
I don't. As badly I want to say it, I think Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, I feel Team Brawling Brutes are going to get the advantage here. I feel this is going to be split. It's going to be split no matter what. And Sean said Roman will lose the title sometime next year.
WrestleMania. Sorry.
I know you said about WrestleMania, and I did book Roman Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship twice at WrestleMania. One night against Cody, and the other against The Rock. Have Cody win the WWE Championship while Roman continues to be in the Universal Championship on Friday Night SmackDown. I could see it happening that way, but I don't know if Triple H is going to book it, have Roman defend his titles 2 nights in a row.
So the thing about this, though, right now, Chris, you're saying the Bloodline should be acknowledged in victory, but you're also saying that should develop a program for Roman versus Sheamus at the Royal Rumble. How particularly do you build that if already the Brawling Brutes failed at this? So clearly it sounds like you don't have Sheamus involved in the decision, so maybe there's some food for thought there. Drew McIntyre's already faced Roman for the title, fell short. Kevin Owens has faced Roman Reigns for the title multiple times, fell short. And Butch has yet to challenge for any particular championship. I guess he was involved in the World Cup. I don't know if he got eliminated or not because, again, I don't have Fox. And Rich Holland, he's been untested. He's only been tested as a tag competitor. So Rich Holland is kind of a wild factor in this. And so Sikoa has been preserved as, I feel like, the most dangerous force in the Bloodline because he hasn't really been saying anything, but he's been out there doing work for the Bloodline. Again, when he confronted Jake Paul at a Crown Jewel, it changed the dynamic of everything to the point, pull apart brawl, they sent both men to the back. So is Solo Sikoa the most dangerous force of the Bloodline, while maybe Rich Holland is the most wild, basically impossible to predict force of the Brutes?
Well, here's the thing, and you did brought about the SmackDown World Cup. Well,
but I don't think it's fully decided yet.
Well, Bush didn't get eliminated, so he's facing Santos Escobar tonight. I feel Santos is going to probably win tonight against Bush. And then we got Braun Strowman versus Ricochet.
Oh God!
Braun Strowman is going to definitely win that. And I know
big with those bright red pants.
Yeah, I know. We're getting close. There's no more matches announced, but I feel there's going to be one more match announced for Survivor Series tomorrow. But next week we're going to have probably the finals. And I do see Braun Strowman winning this whole thing. And then when I go to Pittsburgh on Friday, December 9th, I hope I do get to see Gunther versus Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental title. That will be a really good match, and I would definitely be into that match. But another match that I could possibly see happening tomorrow night at Survivor Series is because we got 5 matches. I feel there's going to be one match to even it up. I feel tomorrow they should add Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight tomorrow.
I agree.
I honestly wonder if they're still trying to build that out a little further. I thought you were going to go with the tag team developing story of the Viking Raiders versus Hit Row. Both teams have been untested on WWE main event, premium live events, particularly Hit Row would be their first. So, but also LA Knight, I guess it would be his first too. But I feel like there's more to build out of Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight than just book it straight into the pay-per-view one day before. That's just my take. But anyway, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. As far as this match goes, you both acknowledge the Bloodline in victory. I'm against you. At some point, you gotta render the Bloodline not invincible freaking human. And you talked about Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, okay. You talk about Solo Sikoa and Butch, okay. You talk about Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. You talk about Sheamus and Roman Reigns maybe being built out of this. I think there's something internally in the Bloodline that's going to be the real difference maker here. Do you guys remember what happened a few weeks ago on SmackDown when Jey Uso poured his heart out about defending, putting his own soul on the line for his family? Sami Zayn, would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to bleed for us? I'm asking you a question. And it was something brought out of Jey Uso that day where it felt like he was trying to prove a point. Remember, when the Bloodline was first being created, Jey Uso was main event right-hand man. Since then, yes, he is the undisputed tag team champ, but Sami Zayn has become a bigger deal than him in a short span. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, I feel, are going to have a fallout with each other when it comes to pride. More particularly, Jey Uso. And I feel Jey Uso and his judgment will cost his team that night. I feel that Jey Uso is going to get pinned with a Brogue Kick by Sheamus. I have the Brutes winning because that is how you build further tension with the idea of Sami Zayn becoming Sami Uso and the fallout that could lead to maybe a one-on-one match with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso once again, the thing that started the whole Bloodline in the first place. And you also preserve the idea that Sheamus, his team won, maybe now he has a right to go after the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And that's how you build a sub-program before the Royal Rumble. I don't necessarily have to push it all the way out to Royal Rumble because, again, that's a lot of TV time. Not that I'm saying they can't do it, but also with the new year coming up, why not go into the new year with a banger of Sheamus and Roman Reigns as your main event for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship? And you further add to the storyline of the Bloodline falling apart from within, at least from Jey Uso's psyche. I feel Jey Uso is going to literally become unwrapped in here somehow, and Sami Zayn and his presence is going to be the deciding factor. So as far as kicks it off, though, like I said, I think you go with wild factors, go with people that may have the experience, go with maybe one that has been untested. But again, you build a pace because you got to go at least for, if you do the math, basically 15 minutes before the match officially begins. Right. So I kind of agree with you that Solo Sikoa kicking it off for the Bloodline is definitely a hot take, and I go with that. But as far as who kicks off on the other side, I say Kevin Owens. Again, Kevin Owens, he has the experience. He literally came in and won a War Game. So that's my take. But I believe that the Bloodline will finally have a moment where Paul Heyman is going to be like, what the hell? And the wise man's going to have to try and counsel the tribal chief in how to reestablish from this loss and refocus. And Roman Reigns needs some sort of challenger in the meantime ahead of the Rock agenda. So I think that the Brutes are going to surprise us in victory. And I feel that's going to be because of tension still within Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. I have the Brutes winning. And that's my take on that. You got to do something different because, again, the Bloodline, yes, they are the act. And Roman Reigns is protected because he's not the one involved in the decision. I understand that the last time you had the Bloodline involved in multi-person action on Premium Live Event was WrestleMania Backlash. And yes, I know the Bloodline won. Roman Reigns picked up the fall. But at some point, something has to be put in front of the Bloodline to challenge them. There's no challengers for the tag titles. They've beaten everybody. Roman Reigns needs some sort of challenger ahead of the Royal Rumble. if Sheamus is going to have a chance to challenge Roman Reigns for those titles, he has to have some sort of momentum to back it up. War Games is the start of that, in my opinion. So that's why I'm going with him. All right. And I might just screwed myself, but I don't care. It's the end of the year. So that being said, folks, we'd love to hear your thoughts, your takes, your opinions. Do you acknowledge the Bloodline will still stand in victory? Are they falling apart from within? Are they on too much of a momentum right now? Do you see it having maybe some sort of like end? Love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. As I look at some people's comments here, people say, can't wait. Go Bailey. If Bianca Mystery Partner is Sasha Banks, then I'm changing my pick. And again, folks, you have up till 7:30 p.m. tomorrow night Eastern Standard Time to make your picks final, because I do allow you to change them. So get those predictions in, and we'd love to hear from you. And thanks once again for tuning in to our Super panel too. So before we conclude, literally just half an hour ahead of SmackDown, where I'm sure some of you are ready for a good time. I'm ready for a nap. Chris, always a pleasure. Good luck tomorrow night. Anything you want to play, promote, where we can find you.
Well, it's always been a pleasure on being on the panel video. This is the final main roster premium live event of 2022, and I cannot believe this is it. But this is not
and Josh hot take is still right, by the way.
Josh says, you want a prediction? Okay, here's one. One team will win War Games, one team will lose War Games. There you go. Josh, if you want to hit us up, if you want to be added to this group chat on Facebook.
He's right. He's right. You can't argue.
We'll
this is the
add
most
you.
pure right prediction there is for Saturday night.
We'll add you, and if you want, maybe next month you could come on Final Battle and Deadline, whatever you want to do. But that, and let's talk about that. The next time you'll see us is when we do a predictions video. Will be Ring of Honor's Final Battle and NXT Deadline. And Noah, I know we'll possibly know about the schedules. I will probably be available maybe that Thursday night to do prediction, because Friday I'll be in Pittsburgh watching Friday Night SmackDown. So Thursday
I'll here as always.
So Thursday I'll probably would do predictions video for those two events. But where you guys can find me at is my Facebook, Christopher Rotz, my Insta, CMROTZ_6472, my Snapchat, C_Rotz17, my Twitter account. Thank God Twitter is still up, and we still have our social media. We still got Twitter.
You all are buying way too much into this end of the world conspiracy theory. Worth the
my Twitter is uppercase CR, lowercase OTZ24. It's always been a pleasure coming on here. I'm number one in the predictions league. I got tomorrow night, and then I got NXT Deadline. And Noah, I'm ready to get my T-shirt at the end of the year. I am so ready. And then when I win it, I will be opening that package up right on the Royal Rumble prediction video. I'm waiting until that Royal Rumble prediction video to hit, and I could open up the shirt. But overall, I'm just here to have a good time, and to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. I hope you guys all enjoy tomorrow with Survivor Series War Games. And also, hope you guys enjoyed the Ohio State versus that team up north game tomorrow. Is going to be fun.
Team that will not be named.
Everything is going to be on the line. A spot in the college football playoff and a spot in the Big Ten championship game next Saturday night. So it's going to be a good Saturday. Hope you enjoy your Saturday. And let's just be positive and just enjoy life. And let's just have some fun for the rest of 2022.
As it slowly comes to its conclusion, too. Thank you, good sir. God bless you. Jeff, again, man, always a pleasure. We're almost at this year's end for professional wrestling. Damn it! but I digress. But this is the last event for November. Should be a banger. So good luck tomorrow night. Anything you want to plug and promote, and where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Facebook, obviously, with the name that's right here. And you can look at you can
How many
find
Jeff
me.
Chadwicks are there on Facebook? Just saying.
Actually, I am friends with one. It's not me. Anyway,
I got it.
yeah, I'm that guy.
Okay.
You find me on Meltdown, Meltdown 316. If you're searching that direction, there's the image. I also run MWL Prediction League, which we're going into our War Games match coming up, so that's going to be fun. And we're going head to head with Spark versus Fury, so that of course brings a whole new level to this whole thing.
Well, I gotta represent my brand even if I'm not in it. Team Fury for the win.
Exactly, and it's been stated that the brand that gets all their prediction forms in first gains the one-man advantage in War Games. So last I saw, Spark was down 26-17. So Fury doesn't have very many to go. Spark's got to get the ball rolling here, I guess.
And they're probably still recovering from their food coma. So, I mean, I know you're not going to show a leniency, but I'm a polite guy. I understand where they're coming from. So, And continue.
You can find me, find Meltdown over on Twitter, Meltdown316 over there. It just, everybody enjoy War Games. This is exciting. First time seeing it on the main roster. They're going to have some twists. They're going to have some turns. You know that's going to happen. It's Triple H.
Someone's going to jump off the top.
You're damn right. And it's Triple H running this. So, I mean, it's going to be good. I do say that there will be one more match added. What? I don't know. But I think 5 is kind of weak. So I do see one more match being added. But I guess we'll find out maybe tonight on what that one match will be. So everyone enjoy War Games, and we'll see you at Deadline.
And Ring of Honor Final Battle, where we will find out if Honor truly is entertaining or real in professional wrestling. Good luck, Kyle Castagnoli. Spoiler. Thank you again, Jeff. Again, good luck to everybody tomorrow night. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed this little forum that we did here tonight. And if you want to know more about me, know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But sports entertainment's okay. But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire ATW family on Twitter. The ATW video impromptu has been paused for now as we all just, do our own thing, get our heads back in the game too. But go check out the playlist where you can see all sorts of rants, fun conversations, and who knows what with me and the entire ATW family. We might come back together by the end of the year for one last year-end special, looking back at the best of times, the worst of times, and our overall takeaways this year in all things wrestling. But of course, I will continue to bring forward play-by-play commentary live reactions too on the Jeff Beacham Network Multiverse Media, including tomorrow night with Survivor Series War Games. So stay tuned for that, of course, as well as post-pay-per-view open mic night. And the leaderboards will be updated for all Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact, and WWE once this weekend concludes. I officially have now completed my All Elite League. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you everybody for participating. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. I will definitely reboot it and do it again next year too. And stay tuned, of course, for another AEW Rampage recap review regarding the Black Friday special and a deal made with a certain devil. But as always, let it conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. They're just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too, treasure your families, and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell when this video goes live or on demand on this channel. And then subscribe and help me keep growing this YouTube community. Shout out to all 259 of you now, as last I checked. That's been this fun YouTuber creation journey. It's not leaving anytime soon. I'll try to bring more content as well, live and recorded, eventually. For Jeff Chadwick, for Ross, the entire Four Horsemen, Mark Griffin that's not here, for James Hubert dealing with inflation and politics. God bless him. And everybody, FTW, Championship Multiverse Media, and No DQ2. I thank everybody once again for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed this. And until next time, again, we'll be back next month with our final duo special Sip and Predicted panel for NXT Deadline. And of course, Ring of Honor Final Battle. We'll see you all then. So make a positive impact in life. Enjoy SmackDown. Enjoy tomorrow's fights. And have a good night. And gentlemen, again, prepare to go to war. We who are about to fight salute you. I don't think there'll be no casualties, but I'm not going to say that there won't be any injuries. I think that'd be foolish. Either way, all I gotta say is let's freaking go. Have a good night, folks, and enjoy tomorrow night's show. Also, Triple H, thank you. Seriously, thank you.